keep thinking I should reach out to him. Because he has like, he does these books and then he has a bunch of different professionals that are helping me write. Because I'm just not, I don't think I'm a writer. People tell me I am, and that I write really well, but I don't think I'm not a science teacher. Like, I don't write like thoughtfully. I don't know. It's hard to
not the worst of problems. Hey, how you doing there?
What's up, man? How you doing?
And I've thought about, maybe I should submit a panel for like emissions. Maybe other people to do something. This is the first one that's really been so heavy. I don't know. Maybe I should give a thought to like what I would do.
14 people typed in.
Probably get going and get done.
Good afternoon, everybody. Wow, that is loud. I was not ready for that. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all doing good. My name is Mike Watson. I am a comic creative. I am the publisher for Short Fuse Media Group, where we publish around 30 different comic books. I am also the owner of Freestyle Comics, where we have six books that we publish on a quarterly basis. I am one half of The Good, the Bad, the Nerdy, a podcast that I do from week to week, along with The Dare Creative on my own YouTube channel. And also, I am the most enthusiastic person in comics right now that I can tell. So I don't think anyone else has as much energy as I do. But we're here today for comics. What is that? What is it? What I got up there for the title?
Representation.
Yes.
For pop culture, affirmative action.
All right, you're ready for crowd participation. So you guys, that was my cheat to get you to participate so you know what's up moving forward. So diversity is a fickle thing. There's a lot of arguments and debates and discussion on how to handle diversity, but we need diversity, but we just don't need any kind of diversity, but we should be representative of all things. And I get into a few discussions about it online. So let's just jump right into something. The Little Mermaid.
Wow, you start big.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go. Let's just go. Let's get into it. So, little thing happened a couple months ago. They're doing a live action version of The Little Mermaid, and the people behind it decided that they wanted to go with a woman of color for the Little Mermaid role.
I love that.
And then everybody went batshit crazy. I mean, crazy. It was completely split down the middle. There was no gray area. Either you were for it or you were against it. And then some of the things I was seeing online, like, but she was always a white character that started. And I'm like, you mean the sea creature? The sea creature that's not real? In some of my discussions, somebody brought up a very good point when it comes to things. And you guys can ask questions whenever you want. We don't have to stay on one subject for too long. It is complete open floor. But every generation or every era has a different way that they tell stories. And right now, we are in the era of CGI and live action movies that our kids relate to, or that's their thing, that's what catches their attention. This is just a different medium and format to tell a different story to match the age range or the age bracket that we're in right now. So why does it have to follow all the same rules of the previous incarnations? Because if we really looked at the Little Mermaid story, it is not happy at all. I don't even like that story. It makes me sad. But there's nothing cute or epically romantic about it. It's quite evil, the story. So if Disney owns this interpretation of The Little Mermaid and they changed that story from that to what it is, and as we all know, of Ariel, and Disney's doing it in a new format, which is live action, why can't they change the story again for a new generation? Specifically on a character that is a freaking sea creature. Just my 2 cents or whatever. Oh, but the biggest thing that really annoyed me about this whole thing, so even if Disney is doing this for diversity reasons, to just get more money, to broaden their audience, to bring in more dollars, so what? They are a company. At the end of the day, they are to make money. That is their whole thing. We are to make money that brings us in a bigger audience, to bring us in more money. I personally don't care how or why people do diversity. I just care that they do it, because then that opens up the door for more people to do it, perhaps in the correct way. But when they're doing this and they decided that they wanted to switch it up or whatnot, why is it even a big freaking deal? Because they are opening up the doors right now, whether you agree with how they're doing it or why they're doing it, they're opening up the doors for more people to do diversity. Disney has a large market share on entertainment right now, so if they're leading the way, saying, hey, we should have more people of color, we should have more females in leading roles, don't you think everybody else is going to follow suit? If that's what the dollar signs are pointing to, I think they will. Any questions? Anybody got any comments? Come on, guys. We got to pop it out here. Yes, sir.
What point in time with comics do you think is when they start to recognize diversity and start to move into that?
I think comics always represented diversity. It's just that the bigger two held on to the market for the mainstream. So the comics that held down diversity for everybody, we didn't know about. They've always been out here. Indie creators have been creating comic books with diverse culture for years, just as long as Marvel, maybe not just as long, but near that. And they were doing it for their own reasons. The reason I do it is because I am from Columbus, Ohio. That's where I live at right now. Technically I'm from Cleveland, but I moved to Columbus for college. Columbus is a melting pot of people. I went to a college with a large array of people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different skin colors, different shapes, different sex, all that stuff. So it is a part of my life that I have different people in my life. So when I make comic books, I draw what I see, what I'm influenced by. I don't have one color in my life. I have tons of colors. So when I draw comics, I draw people that look like you and me going on the street, because that's what I grew up with and that's what I experienced. So it's not even, and me being a person of color, it's not even just having the sole focus on a person of color. It is having a focus on how the world is looking, how the world is. That's what matters at the end of the day. Giving a realistic version of what we see in the world, what we experience in the world. That's how people relate to things. That's how you get open to other cultures and you can understand these things. Any more? Oh, I got a thumbs up, so that's cool. That's awesome. So, another argument that I love to jump in on is that when we do change a character and we change it to a character of color, or we change a male character to a female character, everyone says, stop touching my characters. Just go ahead and make new ones. That's a very good point that you bring up. So let's just go ahead and make brand new characters. That'll fix them. No, it won't. We, as a society right now in our fandom, we are telling Marvel and DC we want them to continue to make characters which are dubbed legacy characters. Anybody know what a legacy character is?
The tried and true Batman's and Superman's and Green Lanterns. Your title guys.
Yeah, your title characters who end up passing the mantle on to a new person, i.e. Captain America passing the shield to Falcon. Miles Morales becoming the new Spider-Man, Kamala Khan becoming Miss Marvel, Jane Foster becoming the mighty Thor. The list goes on and on. Amadeus Cho becoming the new Incredible Hulk. It goes on and on. These are called legacy characters, as in they are carrying on the legacy of the previously established character. Marvel Comics has been around for 80 years. They have a base of characters that they have been making comics for, cartoons, toys, movies, commercials, everything, for 80 years. It costs a lot of money to promote, push, advertise, make, and initiate a brand new character into fandom where there are hundreds of characters already established and in the limelight. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm not even saying Disney doesn't have the money to do it, because they dang sure got the money to do it. The thing is, do they want to take a loss? No business in its right mind wants to take a loss on a new character that might be successful when we have characters that are already successful. They've just done the most successful movie run in the history of cinema. Over 11 years, 23 films, averaging $1.5 billion generated a movie. That is unheard of, and it has never been done. There will be no room for a brand new character in that. They want to keep making money. That's their thing. Now, the reason I say that we as a fandom are telling Marvel and DC this is what we want. All right, so about 2-3 years ago, brand new character comes out, Marvel Comics. Character's name is Mosaic. He is a man of color. He has superpowers that allows him to jump into somebody else's body and take control of them. Mosaic comes out in the Marvel Universe. Mosaic is added to all of the promotions for the Marvel Universe. When Mosaic's books come out, or before the books come out, Mosaic is partnered with Spider-Man, Captain America, X-Men, Avengers, all those characters. No, those big storylines they do every summer that we think are annoying because they do them every summer. Huge storyline where Mosaic is the key character in the turning point of this story. If you are a comic book fan and you are getting comic books on a regular basis, you are seeing the advertisement for Mosaic because they are putting it there. Character of color, here's even the better part. Mosaic was created by two popular creators of color. Jeffrey Johns and, oh goodness gracious, Carrie Randolph. Super popular artist. Carrie Randolph is like setting the comic book, at this time, he's setting the comic book world on fire with variant covers, alternate covers, with his the artwork that he's doing on Spider-Man and things like this. Super popular artist. Super well-established, popular writer. Both men of color. Creating another character of color with the advertisement put behind it. So, this book has this only path is to make money, correct? We're doing everything that you're saying. Here's your new character. Here's your character created by people of color. That character is a character of color. And we've integrated them into the entire Marvel universe. And we're providing you with the advertisement. The month that this book comes out, how many copies of this book do you think sold? Just take a guess. Huh? 42?
One or two.
One or two? No, we higher, much higher. We're in the thousands. We're in the thousands.
10,000?
More than 10. More than 20. Huh? Less than 100. 44,372 comic books this book sold. First issue, the month it came out. That's a lot of comics. Man, good Lord, if I sell 44,000 comic books in 1 month, your boy is dancing in the street. Okay, that's a lot of books that we're talking about moving. All right, so 44,000 comics, this book sells. Brand new character, all the promotion, all the right formula there for it to succeed. The number one comic book that month sold over 500,000 comic books. Now, take a little segue. When I say sold, how many comics sold, that means the comic book stores ordered and paid for the books. I don't care if the books sit on the comic book shelves and never get bought by an actual consumer. Those books have already been paid for and sold to Marvel Comics. That's how it works. Comic shops have to buy those books, and then they have to try to get us to buy them for them to make their money back. So once it hits the comic book shelf, it is sold. This book sold over 500,000 copies. Number one book for that month. The sequel to Big Trouble in Little China. You're talking about a book about a white male lead dealing with stereotypes in Little China. Was the number one selling book that month. I have no idea. I have no idea. Wasn't nobody that I knew. I collect comic books. I collect comic books. I know a ton of the artists. The number two selling book that month at 350,000 copies. A legacy book. The very thing that we as a fandom are telling Marvel to stop selling. A legacy book starring all the characters that apparently we dislike. Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Vision's daughter. Amadeus Cho, Hulk. Cyclops. Nova's son. This is a full-fledged legacy superhero team, 350,000 copies. But we keep complaining on social media and stuff, make new characters. It was a whole freaking new character. Only sold 44,000 copies. So, if I'm the owner, if I'm the person in charge of Marvel and DC, and I'm getting these numbers in, yeah, somebody may be saying on Facebook, we want new characters, brand spanking new characters for color, but your money says you want these legacy characters. Your money says we want another Big Trouble in Little Tokyo, Little China? Yeah, one of them. All right? That's what the money's saying. If I'm a business and my whole job is to retain my audience and my consumer and grow that, am I going to go make a new character? Or I'm going to keep getting you what you're spending your money on. Exactly. When Disney bought Marvel, they didn't buy Marvel to fix it. If Marvel Studios was already making money, they were a successful movie studio. They bought them because they wanted to make more money. As a company, I'm not trying to buy stuff to fix it up. I'm not trying to put money into you. I just want to make more money. The easiest way I can make money possible is what I want to do. The whole reason Disney, do you guys realize the reason why Disney bought Marvel? But outside that, that's obvious. You're right. I keep saying it. You're right. So the number two reason they bought it. Nope. Well, almost there. Nope. They wanted something specifically for boys. In their eyes, they don't have anything specifically for boys. They got girls on lock that is taken care of. What did I do? Oh, there we go. They got girls on lock. They have no concerns or worries about that. That's why when it came to not seeing any toys with Rey on them or any Black Widow toys or anything like that, that's why they weren't in a hurry to do those toys, because they already had the girls market on lock. They wanted Marvel specifically for the boys market. It's already set up. It's already there. All they had to do was cash the check to buy them, and now they bought Marvel for $4 billion. You realize that, right? They bought Marvel for $4 billion. Marvel had 5 movies this year make over $1 billion. One movie made almost $3 billion. Investment returned. I think I had one back here first.
Did the statistics come out for how the customers buy it at the bookstores? Do the bookstores get back to the company and say that they were able to sell such and such amount of 350,000 that they sold?
Well, there is a convention. I think it happens, I want to say it happens like twice a year. They pick a certain comic book convention where comic book shops that come to that convention. It's like a vendor's, I forgot the exact name of it. I went to it once, it was at Baltimore, and all these comic shops, their representatives got to come and talk to the comic book publishers and tell them what's selling in their store, what's not selling in their store, what they want to see. It's basically a presentation for all the comic book shops to say, hey, this is what we have coming out this year. You should order this. You should order that. And they would have writers and artists from all the big studios come out and talk about the books that they have coming out and things like this. But they would also give them a chance to speak on what's selling, what's not selling, why are you guys doing that type of thing. So it was like a big comic book market, and it happens like twice a year. Publisher Summit. There we go. That's my man right there. Yes.
One of the biggest problems with the comic book industry seems to be that the big publishers require the comic book shops to buy a certain number of those legacy comics. That doesn't necessarily reflect what the customers want. They can't stay in business unless they buy a certain number of those comics. So I don't see how that really, but the actual buyers of the comics may not want that. That's just what they require them to do.
Well, I talked to a couple shop owners, and the thing that they've always told me is that they order the books that the people buy, and the ones that they are asking for. And generally speaking, those big Marvel DC crossover storylines with the variant covers and stuff like that, that is what their customer base is asking for. So those are the books they try to order. Then with all the hype, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because you guys know what Diamond is? But for those of you that don't, Diamond is the big magazine where all the comic book shops order their books. That's how they stay in business. That's how they get the influx of books that they get. They have to order through Diamond. And the way that Diamond is set up is that, whoever has, the biggest numbers or whatever, they get the most advertising space and things like that in their book, especially those that can pay for it or whatnot. So when they see these books, the comic shop owners have to order the mainstream stuff in order to keep themselves afloat. So if Marvel is advertising a big storyline is going to happen in 9 months or whatnot, and they have like a 4-page spread in Diamond about it, then the shop owners are going to have to order that because they know eventually someone's going to ask for that. Their main customer base is going to ask for that. And the reason I kind of like have some or any information on that is because me trying to get my books in the comic shops is super hard to do, because it's not the comic shop owner's job to promote my book. It's my job. The same way Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, and all of them promote their books through Diamond, through magazines, through websites and stuff like that, which is why people go to the comic shops and ask for them. It's my job to do that. It's much harder for me to do it with the resources that I have. So me trying to talk to comic shop owners is me trying to figure out, well, how can I get my book in your shop and make it worth your time? So looking at those things and seeing kind of like that comparison of what I need to do as a publisher to try to make that happen. Any other question? No? No?
Yes. So for those people who want the new characters, how much of the fan base do you think they make up?
I don't think they make up a very large sum of the fan base. One thing that I've learned on social media and even in discussions that I've had, the loudest people are the smallest group, especially when it comes into this argument or these type of discussions. And a lot of times they just have the bigger mouths. Sometimes they don't even have anything else to do but argue online and push that initiative. There's been a few times I've gone back and forth with somebody online and just at a certain point, like, man, I gotta go back to work. I can't continue this discussion, and like I'll have somebody going to go get facts and going to go get numbers and going to go screenshot stuff and be like boom, 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 boom. I have a life. You're proving your point is not this important to me. Like if we have my thing is I like having discussion, and discussions are cool because we can always say, man, I agree to disagree. I hear what you're saying and I respect it, but I just don't see it from that perspective. That's how discussions should go. And that's what I like to have. Even if I don't agree with you, I want to know why you feel or think that way so I can understand it, because maybe I'm not seeing it from the right perspective. Maybe I've missed something because I have different experiences and stuff. Anyone else? We still have a few more minutes. Are there any diversity moves that have happened that you are curious about or annoy you, or anything you want to bring up? Okay.
It's disappointing they didn't get there sooner.
Yes. They really should have that. Well, so again, so that one's a double-edged sword as well. Black Panther was super great and it was super successful. And I think Black Panther was the benefit of some of the forced delay of it coming out. And that also plays on Wonder Woman, which is the stuff we're saying first female superhero movie. It's not Supergirl 1984. But because that product wasn't there, and as we got older, things started changing in our culture, things started changing in our community, more people started speaking up, more people wanted to see themselves in things, because that buildup was happening. And I don't know if you guys remember it, when people were really going off on Disney, like, why is there no Black Widow toys? Why is there no Black Widow movie? Where is the Rey action figure and lightsaber? These are Rey's movie, and you don't have her toy out in a store? That makes absolutely no sense. But then that went on for like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden, there's Rey's action figure. There's Rey's toys. Oh, are those Black Widow action figures? Where did those come from? You're telling me you just made those yesterday? No. To me, I think all that stuff was there, and I think they were trying to create a drive. They were trying to create a need for it. So when we get a movie like Wonder Woman, and it hasn't happened, or if they're having movies like it, but the production quality is not there, the acting roles aren't there, the director isn't there, the whole thing to that level isn't there. So they notice, or we see, we create these hashtags, we create these arguments, we have these constant discussions online and cons and things like this, and then finally you're like, Wonder Woman's coming out, and now everyone's like, it's about damn time, let's go, and everyone rushes to go see it. Then how they promote it is like, they promote it to all age ranges, to all females. This is the movie you've been waiting for. Well, you're right, this is the movie we've been waiting for. Why did you take so long to do it? But there's no one else out there that is big enough to make an impact or splash with that type of film but them. So we have to go in there to go see it. Only because, well, not only because of that, but because it is happening and it's there and we should support it because we want more of it, but no one else is doing it. So if we don't go see it, then I'm like, there's no money in it. But there was such a fandom and a feast for it, like, when are we going to get the Wonder Woman movie? When are we going to get the Black Widow movie? That they generated their own income by making us wait. We get this Black Panther film with that amazing cast, with Ryan Coogler as a director of it, and it's like, when it comes out, and you're like, well, you guys should have been did this. Guess what? It wouldn't have worked. If they did it any sooner, it would not have worked. It just would not have, because we didn't argue or fight enough for it. So when it finally comes out and they take it serious, and they give you a 90% cast of people of color, and then they represent all the women. They don't over-sexualize them. They put them on the same level as the men. They are just as important, or if not more important, than the king. They are protecting the king. They are the strongest warriors in the freaking country. Are you kidding me? They're the background characters, and they got so much story and love. And then the one thing that I like to know, a little side note, I have 3 daughters, so I'm all about women power. I'm all about women and representation in comics. I'm all about it. T'Challa cannot make a move without a woman being around him. If it's not his mother, it is his ex-girlfriend, who, by the way, they have a positive relationship after they break up. Shut up. That's a thing. That's something that can happen. His armed guard, Okoye, always there with him. He does not make a move. He does not make a move or finalize anything without a woman's input. That is dope. T'Challa's relationship with his father, positive. It's not a single family home. He had both parents. There was no ill represent. Everyone in that movie, there was no, even the bad guys weren't thugs. They were intelligent bad guys. So, wow, Black Panther is an amazing film and they did a great job on it. I just don't think it would not have been as successful if it wasn't put off as long as it was. And in all honesty, playing devil's advocate, Marvel couldn't do that film any sooner unless they proved themselves with everything else that they did. And I hear everybody when they say, well, the last 10 years of Marvel has been white male leads. Well, that's their fan base. That's what they built Marvel Comics on. That's what they've known. And that's what they had to establish and show that they could do before we get to this other thing. Now, I'm personally a big fan of Mighty Thor. It took me, I had to actually read the book to like it and enjoy it. Miles Morales, he's incredible. His origin story is one of my favorite origin stories ever in the comic books. Kamala Khan is amazing. She is super relatable in everything that she does. So when people are destroying or taking these characters down, saying they don't deserve to have these mantles or these characters are trash, I don't see it. There was a story that I hated called the Superior Spider-Man. Doc Ock takes over Peter Parker's body and brain, and he becomes new Spider-Man. When I heard what that was, I said, trash, complete trash, stop it now. But I got a hold of the whole run, and I read it. It was actually really freaking good. It was a well-written story. It was great character development. It was interesting. It was really good. And what I had to get over and get past was my preconceived notion of what it was, of what I was used to. At the end of the day, why wouldn't these characters pass on their mantles? Why wouldn't someone else want to pick up after one of these characters because they were a huge ass fan of this character? That is something that would really happen. Kamala Khan loves Captain Marvel. So yes, she modeled her costume after her, and that's her inspiration. Miles Morales, spoiler alert, his Uncle Ben was Peter Parker. That is incredible. That is, I swore when they said they were going to kill Ultimate Spider-Man, it was a cash grab. You're just doing a cash grab and bringing in a half black, half Latino character just so you can do it or whatever. But I read that story, and by the time I got into it and watched Peter Parker die in front of Aunt May, Mary Jane, and Miles Morales, who was in the crowd the whole time, who did not help him, even though he had the power to, because he didn't want the power. Great power comes with great responsibility, people. There was no better way to tell that story, and it was great. I think a lot of people get stuck in their preconceived notions of how things are. And instead of opening their minds and giving it a chance, they don't want any change. And they think the quick fix is to make a brand new character. That would be great if the structure was there for that to work like that. The only way that structure is going to work is if we enforce that structure. You don't like what Marvel Comics is doing? Every time I see an argument on Facebook, I hate Marvel, I hate DC, I hate what they're doing. Oh, do you? That sucks. Freestylecomics.com. We make those books. We've been doing diversity for 20 years. You don't like what they're doing? Please come over and see what I got. No one ever takes me up on it, though. Like, what the hell? You're so mad at them. I'm telling you, we've been doing this. They had one thread that had like 600 comments on it. And I came on there, and I was like, here's a link to my Dropbox. I will give you the first issue of Hot Shot for free. Just read it and tell me what you think. You're so mad at what these studios are doing, these comics places are doing. I'm going to give you my #1 issue for free right now. No takers. And I like to say, I know how to draw, dang it. So I draw pretty pictures. I got a degree that says I can. But that's the thing. You can go to any comic book convention and you can walk down Artist Alley and you can find 5 or 6 books that you would actually like outside of the big houses. Trust me, they got somebody in their studios keeping track of who's buying what and where their books are selling at. They start noticing a dip in their books, they're going to go figure out where that money's going. If they find out and see that money's going to a small studio with this one book called Hot Shot at Freestyle Comics, make it happen. They're going to buy it. They're going to come. They're going to approach and say, what is this kid doing? What's happening over here? Or they're going to try to make a character like that to get that money back.
Does it happen with Static Shock?
Exactly.
Case in point, for example. Sorry.
You're good, man. You're good.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, it may seem like an oversimplification, but talking in general about like when people are wanting new characters or they want to redefine character, it doesn't matter if you're taking Spider-Woman and you're making it a character who's the victim. It doesn't matter if you're changing the ethnicity or the costume design or anything else. We live in a world of sensationalism where we need that impulse. So when they have 600 comments on something, it's building the hype.
Yep.
There's no such thing as bad advertising. So when somebody goes and says, like, for me, my opinion is that the Wonder Woman movie has a good film plot, but it's horribly filmed. And that's just my personal opinion because I have a background in film as well. That's talking about cartoons. Cartoons back in your day sold toys. Now, they don't sell anything. And Turner hates that. So they spend as little money as they possibly can. By the way, don't watch the new Thundercats. But it's Steven Universe. There's no plot to it. But I digress. I apologize. It really boils down to sensationalism these days.
So he's making an absolute valid point. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, these are all free promotional sites for them. That's why they post things on them to get our reaction and get it seen, get the metrics up so it gets in more and more people's timeline. That's all free promo. This whole thing with Spider-Man leaving Sony and Marvel not coming to a deal, so funny this happened the 3 days before D23. Oh my God, that's such a ridiculous coincidence. There's so much more attention on D23. Are they going to save him? Is it coming back? Make the announcement, guys. Come on, man.
I've had over a dozen people this weekend say that Sony's the real villain in the MCU universe. Are you kidding me? It's so sick.
You got your hand up, sir?
Well, this is first convention I've been to since 2003. And it's a world of difference in what it was then and what it is now. The big thing, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, is this is a cosplay convention we're at. It's not a comic book convention. There's some comic book stuff here. But where's Marvel? Where's DC? Where's Image? Where even the mid-level publishers, where are they at? You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of cosplay stuff, which is fine, and I think there's a disconnect there that if they want to sell books, if they want to sell these characters and stuff, they need to be here and representing, maybe not in the way they used to, because the floor is not half comic books now. It was, in 2003, half of that floor was just boxes and boxes of comic books. Now, there's plenty to look through and, all that stuff, but really, the convention's not for that anymore. It's for focus, character, sensationalism, and love, and all these people coming out, willing to dress up and spend their money on the character they love and stuff. And that's cool. I understand that. That's awesome. In fact, even in 2003, that was the coolest thing about the convention was the cosplay part of it. But it just seems like the big studios have given up on trying to connect with those people. At least when I come to a convention like this and I look around and they're not represented here.
Well, I look at the Wizard World show as more of a mainstream pop culture convention versus a cosplay convention. There's still plenty of comic book vendors here, and for your mid-level, intermediate level comic books, they're all in the Artist Alley. There are a ton of comic book creators in Artist Alley.
What I'm talking about is like Arctic Press or IDW.
Oh yeah, but see, the other thing to coincide with that is they feel they don't need to come here because they already get promotion and stuff here because the artists and the writers are here. And that's what people really want to see. If you look like I'm here, if you really look at the creators list, there are a ton of actual creators here from those big studios and TV studios and stuff that are doing the art and actually doing the writing and things like that. So that's their representation of it. Plus you have all the fan art that indie artists create for them, which is also free promotions as well. You get like a full-fledged, like a full-on comic book convention, Cincinnati Comic Expo or Baltimore Comic Con, or more like that. San Diego is complete pop culture comic book convention type of thing. So when you go to these shows, you got to kind of understand which type of show it is to bevel off your expectations of what to see and expect of the show.
It didn't meet my expectations.
Okay.
And it's not a criticism of the show at all. That's not what I mean.
Okay.
In fact, it's awesome. I can't wait to come again. It's just that there does seem to be a disconnect with these big studios and the scene that's going on. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like if they would pay more attention to one of the biggest selling comic books of this year is that Vampirella #1. It had a cosplay character on one of their covers. It
Yeah.
sold very well.
It did.
That's
Well, that also segs into their formula and the way that they're making money works for them. There was a thing that one of my friends got into with on Facebook and explaining how Marvel and DC prints their books. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they get their books at like 10 cents a copy because they print so many of their books. So when they sell their books to a comic book shop at 50% off the cover price, which is $5, that's like $2.50 that they have to give the comic shop. Well, they get $2.50 of that, and they only spent 10 cents to print the book, so they're getting $2.40. So either way it goes, they're still winning, and they're still getting the money that they need or feel justified to keep making the books to the level that they're making.
But it's diminishing sales and diminishing comic book shops for the last 15 years. I mean, you know, they're not getting it right. I'm not saying I have the answer.
Oh, no,
But, you know, it's diminishing. And I'm not sure that anybody's pegged exactly how do we turn this around and re-embrace everybody. It just seems like they're missing the boat is what I feel. Like, you know, the big studios, and it just seems like it's right there for them to grab. You can look around and see all these people that are coming here and spending their money and loving these characters, and yet they're selling fewer and fewer comics every year. You know, what's happening?
Just real quick, touching on that. As odd as it is, when you mentioned like, hey, how come the publishers aren't here? A lot of them during the last decade or so, they do try to come. We've had a couple of Wizard shows in the country so far where they have brought DC representation or Marvel representation to exhibit. But the reality is, as boring as this sounds, it always comes down to money. The exhibiting halls or whatever have you, just not having enough space. If Marvel comes, they're not going to be selling comic books. If anything, they're going to be giving it away, and they're going to be like selling T-shirts or pops or anything else that they've licensed. Touching just very briefly on the Vampirella thing, you're talking about, hey, it's the #1 seller in cover. One of the things that Dynamite did is that they sold a license, and every comic shop that they wanted could pay that licensing fee to make their own exclusive cover. And so there are comic shops all over the country, from Indianapolis to Chicago to Baltimore to everything else, that have their own exclusive variants for the same issue. But they had to pay a licensing fee to get that right. And it has to be approved.
I think that's a smart move, though.
So the company's making their money on that, and then all the collectors who are obsessed with Vampirella or Deadpool or Spider-Gwen or whatever it may be, they're collecting that. Like the Batman, Superman, DC just pulled the same thing. They're selling licenses right now for that. Sure. Those come out soon. Marvel's doing it with Conan for New York Comic Con.
That might be an answer. I mean, that's an individualized focus.
Yeah, and that focuses for you, the fans, as well as tries to help create an incentive for the companies. Like, hey, you can buy less comics, but by an exclusive that's only available at your store, you can increase profit. And that's just, it's a walking conundrum where the comic book companies, they evolve every so many years. I mean, Marvel went bankrupt at least, 5 times? Before
It was a number.
At least 5 times. They tried doing the Marvel.com and it failed miserably. They tried doing like animated comics with Neil.
They did.
Those bombed miserably. You know, the cartoon would be great, but the merch didn't. So they didn't bother. 20 years later, they were selling X-Men Jim Lee t-shirts at every single Walmart.
Yeah.
Possibly fine. It's never ending conundrum.
And that's the thing. They had to, once the fan base got open and all of geekdom was like, oh, it's cool to be a geek and be into what we are, then they're catering more to the casual fan. And so that's an adjustment that they have to make, and that's where a lot of the money comes from. So like a lot of the trailers and promotions that come out, those aren't for us. They know they're going to get our money. That our money is pretty much guaranteed and locked. They're trying to get it to where they get the casual fan who comes to get an autograph or something like that and say, oh, I'm going to go see that movie because that looks cool or whatnot. Because that's where a big chunk of their funds come from. And it's a guessing game. It's them trying to figure out things. It's us trying to say what we like and don't like. But
wasn't it just following about 10 years after the average newspaper? Publishing is going down, consumption changed. You know, DC or Marvel doesn't necessarily need to worry about the comic book sales per se because they've got the money driver on the movies and the cartoons. Online, the Marvel Unlimited or the online comics. I mean, it's kind of the same argument with newspapers, or the same issue with newspapers. Dwindling comic sales doesn't necessarily necessitate or mean that there's a diminishing demand. It just means the consumption is changing.
Right, but these comic book sales and things like that, how many books, like truly, like in the history of comics, how many of them truly broke over 1 million books sold or whatnot like that? Those are really rare instances of situations like that, and them averaging 500, 600,000 copies, 120,000 copies at 10 cents the cover, the print cost and whatnot, that's still a win for them. So they may not be making as much money as they used to with those bigger moved books or whatnot, but they're still making enough money to justify continuing to print them and use that as the initiative to keep, you know, the movies and the cartoons and stuff. And I apologize, I gotta cut it short. We just got the signal that I have to wrap it up. I want to thank you all so very much. This is a great panel. I appreciate all your participation and your questions and stuff like this. If you guys want to continue the discussion, I am at table A23 in Artist Alley. I'm actually going to do one more panel down at the creative stage. I'm going to be actually showing people how to put together a comic page. So I'll be doing that on the creative stage down in right by Artist Alley or whatnot. But please check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as Art of Mike Watson. It's all one word. Check out our website, shortfusemediagroup.com, and look up Freestyle Comics on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Freestyle Comics. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I thought it was a great discussion.
I've been so tempted to reply to the comments on his live video. There are people, no, I'm watching, and I'm like, they're commenting. They are? I need to reply.
Yeah, they were commenting.
Yeah,